We're live.
We're
I see that.
live.
We're live. Now, how do we see what people say?
I've got to push it. Hi, Sally Gordon.
Hi,
Haley.
Sally. She found us.
Well, hopefully a few people did. I gave them the link to your page, Taffy,
Okay.
on that stuff. So hopefully people will, if they remembered. If anything like me, I always forget about lives. I'm like, oops, that was 2 hours ago.
Here, let me do that. Let me put the link.
It's like, oops, that was 2 hours ago.
Here, let me do that. Let me put the link.
That just echoes back, Chris.
I know. I'm going to just post.
That just echoes back, Chris.
I know. I'm going to just.
Yes, Haley, you're the first one here.
Oh, let me play it. I just don't want to hear it. Hi, Julie. How are you?
Where are you seeing everybody else?
I see them if I look on my computer screen.
Yeah, you're looking. Well, maybe you can commentate because I have to push them as they come up. Hi, Julie. That's my daughter. Now there's a lot.
Okay, so that's not over
Hi,
here.
Linda. Here, let me turn my thing this way so I can see both my computer and this. How's that? Let me pull this down a little bit. Is that better?
If I go on Taffy's, would it show what I'm supposed to be seeing, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me do that.
Hi, Linda. How are you? It's like time delayed.
Well, Chris, did you want to start talking a little bit about prepping and maybe how to fill your pantry or something like that?
Well, I'm doing some of that today, actually. Yeah. You'll see 2 videos later on. I'm doing one on canning dill relish and one on canning sweet relish. But with it, with everything just coming to harvest here and there, I think it's important that we even pull up, small things so we can do small batch. We don't want anything to go to waste.
Yeah.
Sorry, we woke you up, Linda.
I like how you're always canning like your leftovers or freezing them and stuff like that. I think that's always a good idea.
I don't have a freeze dryer, so I don't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
So.
She doesn't come over here and uses a freeze dryer either.
Well, she doesn't tell you she's almost 30 minutes away. I seen that, Vanessa. You said hi, everyone.
Well,
so
this is very time delayed.
Yes, it is. Can you guys hear us okay and everything? I like it on the Facebook one better, but we can't get that third person in there, so.
Yeah.
I'm just a third wheel.
Always, even when we were kids. How did that turn out, Linda, the fried cucumbers?
That sounds yummy.
Well, because I have 1 cucumber left and I haven't went out to the garden, but I seen where she said fried cucumbers and I was like, oh, that sounds really good.
So how do you fry them? That inquiring minds wants to know. Is it kind of like zucchini?
We do the fried pickles. I think it'd probably be like that, wouldn't it?
Well, I think she breaded them. Didn't you breaded them, Julie? I'm sorry, Linda. She said they were amazing.
Just like a green
tomato. Just like a fried green tomato. Oh, that would be good.
Oh, that would be good.
Maybe I'll go out and see if I got any that are ready in the garden. Make it tonight with dinner.
I wonder if you did that, if you did a light thing and you sprayed it, if that would work even in like in an air fryer.
I don't know. I don't use them.
That's what I like about Nessa. She uses so many different kitchen things.
Because I'm lazy.
Well, at least you don't have to like heat up your oven and stuff when you're using some of those things you use. What's that one thing called? The Ninja? You use that a lot? That
The Ninja XL.
Yeah.
It's just like an air fryer, and I guess you can broil in it and all that stuff. When I warm up things or bake things, I usually put that in my June oven. It's kind of like
the June
oven.
Linda said you could do it in the air fryer.
Oh, I might have to try that, because I have 2 cucumbers out on my countertop right now.
Well, I was thinking I could do it with tonight's dinner. She uses a Ninja Speedy.
Oh, I love Speedy.
Nothing against gadgets. I just, first of all, don't have a lot of room, but Nessie hasn't been over here to see how I've redone my spare bedroom, but I have to haul things in and out. But I cooked for years for a living, and you didn't get gadgets. So I feel like when you play with your food and you touch your food and you do that, it's more like cooking. It just, to me, all the gadget cooking is, I don't know what the word is for it. I don't feel as in touch. How's that?
Well, the gadget cooking allows me on my last break to start dinner. So that way, if Mark's getting home early, everything can be started where when I get out of work, I can just finish it, which makes it very nice for me because that way, no matter what time he gets home, dinner's done.
I wonder where everybody else is. They said there was going to be like 17 in here. We got 10. Yoo-hoo! Everybody say hi. Make sure you give thumbs up. And if you haven't, we're down to 8. But if you haven't subscribed to Taffy or to Vanessa, go ahead and go do that now too as well.
I love
we need to get Taffy to 1,000.
We do.
Yeah.
I'd like to get to 3,000.
You will.
It might take 5,000 years to do that. So what do you do, Taffy, to preserve?
Only thing I've done lately is just salsa. I used to make pickles a lot, but that's about all I do right now.
Good morning, Alfred. Have you ever met Alfred, Taffy?
No, I haven't.
Alfred is actually a sweetheart. He's a Michigander that lives out east now. And he has the cutest puppy, so you need to go subscribe to his channel as well. And he's got a beautiful, beautiful garden. And so top it off, Michigan State in the house. Hi, Alfred. But you have to go over and look over his channel. He's got the cutest puppies, and his garden is amazing, you guys. Have you checked it out, Ness?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful garden the other day.
It's beautiful. So Sally said she subbed to all of you too.
Yeah, thank you, Sally.
Yeah.
Yep, Sally's been with me for a bit.
Yeah. Honestly, when we bring you into our group here, Taffy, I know I do anyway. I have the best community, and they're amazing people and very supportive, and just, I hope some of them come over to you because they are an amazing group.
Yeah.
Well, there's quite a few people on your people, Kris, that I see really nice stuff that's not my subscribers yet. I'd love to have them over here too.
Yeah, they're good people.
I think most of mine are, that at least chat, most of mine are probably people of yours.
Yeah. I have a wonderful group. So what are you doing to preserve anything, Nessa?
Well, today I'm not preserving anything. But
Thank you, Linda.
We are well, the thing is, I will be preserving because I was watching a video, because I planted all those like 30 jalapeno plants out there. And I looked out there yesterday and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're getting so big. And Mark wants me to can them, but like in pints where it only has maybe 4 or 5. So later today, I'm going to be going out to the garden. And this woman that I was watching yesterday has where you use half vinegar, half water, and then you put a little bit of garlic, onions, and carrots in with the jalapenos. So I'm like, that sounds kind of tasty. So I thought about doing that, and that way I can get those going. And then I watched your video the other day, Kris, on the banana peppers, because some of those are coming up.
They're so good.
I have a couple small cucumbers. It's only about 6 inches, but they're growing more each day.
Nessa, can you push in Alfred's link to his channel, please?
Yeah, let me try to do that.
I'm kind of sitting cockeyed, so it's hard for me to.
Yep, let me pull him up here. I have to go in my.
So now, canning is not the only way of preserving, and I think some people get intimidated by that. So do you do other things, Taffy, like, freezing or dehydrating or anything like that?
Well, we do like freeze our leftovers and things like that. I don't have a dehydrator, but we do put up leftovers and things like that.
That's a good thing, though.
And then also trying to make one dinner, make it into add things to it to make it into some, different recipe.
Absolutely. Nessa's good about that. I don't tend to have too many leftovers by the time I get done with Tom's appetite and then packing for his lunch.
Well, my son-in-law, he does a lot of our dinner cooking, and he makes enough food for I think he thinks 15 people live here. He makes huge meals, and then we have to figure out what to do with it, all the leftover.
See, I have a very hard time with that because, I had my mom living with us at one point. We've had exchange students, my daughter, my husband. So, there for a minute, I was cooking for quite a few more people. And in my mind, you still think, you're still cooking for 5 or 6 people,
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I just have to cut everything back. So when I see a recipe, I usually cut the recipe like in half. So that way, like the other day when I made that Mexican meatloaf, I don't know if you guys saw that. I just took half of the recipe and I ended up with still 2 meatloafs.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that
it worked.
Good, that Mexican meatloaf. I thought that looked good.
That was so strange, honestly.
Sorry about your garden, Sally. And Linda, she said she likes hot dogs and salad. I'm not a hot dog fan, but we're going to do hot dog week in 2 weeks. But when we look at that, like somebody said today, it's not very healthy. But I don't know if either one of you girls have looked at depression cooking. Do you know they used hot dogs for a lot of stuff?
Yeah.
Like for their main source of meat. So must be hot dogs back in the day must be dirt cheap because, they got that, that one stew that one older lady made. I can't think of it, but they put hot dogs in a lot of stuff. Sorry to interrupt, but I seen that. I don't know if I'd put it in a salad, but it might be good. I put ham in one.
See, I think it's hard to learn how to cook for just 1 or 2 people when you're used to cooking for a family.
Yeah, that's what Julie was saying too. Well, I had 4 in my family at one point. My ex-husband and the 2 boys and then me. And neither one of you raised boys, right? Well, you are kind of now, but boys eat a lot.
Yes, they do.
So, having men in the house, and so Tom, he eats for 2. Yeah. So then when he gets his lunch the next day and then I get food, it's like cooking for 4 and it's only 3 people. Alfred's looking forward to hot dog week. You guys wait till you see all the stuff I picked out. It's going to be awesome.
You know what? I don't know if you've done that hot dog pizza, Chris, but that chili dog pizza was absolutely amazing.
No, I don't think
Oh,
that's even on my list.
oh, you should. If you can move something around. Oh, I'm telling you, girl, that chili dog pizza was amazing.
Girl, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different recipes I got to dwindle down.
Well, that cheeseburger pizza was great. I mean, I was absolutely shocked. It was.
Bruno's in the house.
Hi, Bruno.
Hey, Bruno, make sure that you subscribe to Taffy too, please. Dono on there. Taffy is Bruno. And he has a channel too. You should go check it out. He's been doing his garden. He finally came back because he's on vacation. He's been really, really busy. So, and he's cute.
He is.
And he's got a cute accent too.
I love how peaceful his garden is.
It is. You'll have to check it out. It's very, very relaxing.
And that's a good thing, Julie, to have things made out of random stuff out of the pantry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be, after this, when I finish my 2-week thing, I'm going to be doing like a pantry freezer week to try to get things out of the freezer and out of, to rotate things. So I had to think outside the box of what can I make, because, it's not stuff that I would normally cook, and I got to figure that all out.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do too. Is I can't remember what show I used to watch, but there was a man that would at the end of the month he would clean out he wouldn't buy any groceries, and he would just clean out his kitchen and just make food from what was ever in the kitchen.
Hi, Lorene. Lorene is the sweetest heart that you'll ever meet, Taffy. Her and Sally are just amazing. Very soft-hearted, giving. Lorene just bends over backwards to help her family. She's amazing. So maybe she'll subscribe to you as well.
She won my contest yesterday.
She did. I seen that. She's a doll. You wait till you get to meet all the people. You're just Taffy. They're amazing group. They're
Sally
amazing.
won one of my first contests that I had.
Oh, did she? Oh, yeah.
2 contest winners right here in the live.
It's so funny. I don't know about you guys, but since getting a YouTube channel, like used to be, I'd open up my cupboards and I'd be like, there's nothing there. And then you just go out and get something to eat. You know what I mean? But now, since doing the channel and watching more and more channels, I can actually open up that cupboard and go, I can do this, this, and this. Do you guys do that too?
I do the same thing too. When I'm trying to think up a rest of what I want to make, I think about what I got in the kitchen, and I think, well, I can make that. I can make, several different things.
Absolutely. I know I go through the freezer now too. Well, if I can get through it, but but I've done a couple weeks where we do pantry, because I think we tend to buy stuff and then we don't use it, or we can stuff and we don't use it. So like I tell Tom now when he goes down the basement to get me stuff, bring up my canned first.
Yeah.
So I can go through those, so that, hi, my biggest dream.
Hi, Stacy. She
Is
won
that
one too. Yeah. So I got the contest winners in the house today. I think I've had a few more contests.
So what's something that you've done, Taffy? Like I've talked to my group about it. What's some things that you've done to, well, let's say SHTF does happen, and like for alternative heat or cooking or anything, do you have stuff on backup for that?
Really, we'd be out of luck. We do have a generator, but other than that, we just have to make do. Now, my dad, he lives just down the street, and if we were out of heat or whatever, he has like a wood burning heat and stuff like that. So I guess we'd be heading down to his house.
That's something though that, you and me and Vanessa's been looking into doing all that stuff too, but you and people that are watching that, that's one reason why I wanted to learn how to cook outside.
Yeah.
And we have alternative little stoves that, can take very little, like, I don't know what they call those cylinders.
Propane.
Yeah, there's propane, and then there's another kind too.
Yeah.
And then actually we're using them for fire starters out at the pit now, but you can take things like your lint and your toilet roll papers, and then we put our lint inside of there, and it makes for a great fire starter. So that
butane, Chris.
Butane is the other one, yeah. So we've been looking into other things like that. So maybe that's something that you and your family can kind of concentrate on. Like, what could we at least start a fire with? Because at least in Texas, but you guys had that one bad year. You never know.
Yeah.
And
we
you
don't
want
have
to
to really worry about heat, but we do have to. We could cook outside. I mean, we've got grills and stuff like that. We could do that. But.
Absolutely. And I've been thinking a lot more about water lately too.
Yeah.
We have a whole bunch downstairs, but ever since I did that one cup that you did too, Vanessa, I've been thinking more and more about water, because like we had that blockage in our plumbing the other day. And what if we didn't have plumbing? You know what I mean? We live right by the river just like Ness does, but that doesn't mean that crap's worth drinking. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten straws and stuff, but I've really thought about doing a reverse osmosis or something like that too, because I hear the city water is gross too.
Where Julie lives, you can't even drink the water there.
Yeah.
They tell you can't even drink the city water.
Well, that's like Flint here in Michigan.
That's a good idea, Sally. Yeah, Flint, their water, it's been like that for how many years now?
A
lot.
I mean, the thing is, even if you're not drinking it, you're bathing in it.
Yeah.
And it still gets in your body through your skin and stuff, so it's still not good.
No.
Yeah.
See, Julie said something about that too. Not having water scares her, and she doesn't have drinkable water. I think anybody that's in here today, that's something that, the more I've been thinking about it, I would say even like on Provident Prepper, they kind of put it as the number one thing. So for you, for the people out there, and for any of us actually, save your gallon water jugs, whatever, refill them. If you want to update them, water your garden or whatever with it, do dishes with it, I don't care. We have our old water jugs. We use that water. That will be for cleaning. You know what I'm saying? It won't be for drinking, because you don't know if you've gotten all that. You hope you do, but you don't know. So, but the water thing has been bothering me lately. Maybe because they're tearing up our whole city to do the pipes and stuff. I don't know.
Sally had a question. It says, what if you don't have any water? What do you do for waste? We have a porta potty, but what do you do with it?
I need to look into that too. I don't know. And Alfred just said they got a warning a couple days ago that they could only use it for cleaning.
Yeah.
Hi, Suzanne. How are you?
But like what Suzanne just said is, a lot of people, when you can sit there and take the extra room that's in your canner and can up water to put, a lot of people, what they do, and I don't do it myself, but they can the actual, they'll just make canners full of water and stick it on their shelf while their jars are not being used. So if you have storage space for your jars, you can actually make that into water also. And of course,
I agree, Bruno, because we live close to the river, it does something. But hi, Mama B. Mama B said dig a deep hole and bury it. I think maybe next time we do that, maybe that's some things that we need to look into, because waste is a really, that's something, because if you don't do it, I was watching something on Provident Prepper, and it says that it can actually be very toxic if you don't take care of it properly.
And that's one thing I like about Provident Prepper. I mean, they come up with some scenarios. I mean, they made all their kids actually like live like there was no electricity, you couldn't go shopping for
30
anything.
days.
I know that was a long time for young
30
kids.
days.
They could barter stuff, and the grandma would bring in stuff. It was kind of funny, but they come up with some really, really cute things.
Oh,
and very smart things.
Suzanne says in the military they just burn it. Can you imagine? I live in the city, inner city, so there's a lot of houses on my street. Can you imagine if everybody burned their poop on the same time?
Well, I just wonder, Kris, with us being in the city, I don't know about you, Taffy, but what happens if you had like a smaller, like the burn barrels people used to use back in the day?
Yeah.
If you could actually burn your waste in there. Because isn't that how that one people got sick that one time? They had because they were pooping and peeing everywhere and got sick. I forget what sickness that was, but it was overseas. And no, Susan, I couldn't.
No, I can't imagine that job either. No, but something, the more that things happen, and it's not like major things, but little tiny things that happen here and there, it really has made me think more on I don't know, maybe it's because you get kind of nostalgic during canning season. I think I do anyway. Especially because I buy jars that are used. And I showed that one yesterday, how there's stickers on the side and they won't come off that jar.
Yeah.
But I get different shaped ones and whatever. And when I can in that, I know it sounds really crazy, but I think about how many mouths that those jars have fed. You know what I mean? And some of those jars are from the early 1900s. And so maybe they had to cook over fire to can, you know what I mean? Or whatever. And it makes me think about what happens if we were thrown back to that day where we need to be able to do things I don't know how I would can if I didn't have a stove. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to learn how to can over my pit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have messed up if you get that job.
The thing is, they're not part of this thing, but definitely if you guys all do get a chance, I don't know for sure, Taffy, if you're part of that either. But even Kris and I, a couple years ago, or was it last year, they were doing this garden section thing. And they actually have, the generators, they show, their water basement is just absolutely amazing. So it's kind of cool to see on someone who actually lives that lifestyle on a daily, what they do. The stuff that they put out is just amazing. They actually put a pizza oven thing in their fireplace. It's just, you wouldn't think about how all that works, but it works very well. And I've seen Tessie water bath outside.
Yeah, that big Amish one. And by the way, Taffy, you look beautiful. You're the only one of us all dressed up.
I was nervous, so I had to look nice. I'm nervously made up.
Julie, I think that, what, maybe, I don't know. My sister knows some things that's been going on with me this week. And so I've been stressed and whatever. But I think the older that we get, and maybe you girls, because we're all about the same age. The older that we get, first of all, I don't care about people's BS and drama anymore. I just don't have time or room for it in my life. But I think that going back to the old ways to kind of, I don't know, maybe relax, if that's the word for it.
Yeah.
Because I think about my grandma when she was canning, and she really truly did that stuff out of love. She did it because she needed to provide for her family. And my grandparents had a big garden, and they'd have to go outside and down the steps to go to the basement, but it just seems like our food had so much more, I don't know what the word is, but it just had so much more love in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, it gives you a sense of relief when you've got all that food stocked up.
An accomplishment.
Yeah.
An accomplishment too.
Well, I have this closet as you first walk in from the garage. I suppose you're supposed to hang your coats on it or whatever. Well, I took it over and I made it my Made with Love cabinet. And I have my canned goods like all over the house in different rooms and different closets and stuff. But when I was just using that one, and I would open it up, and just every time I would open up the cabinet, and I was like, it was just that, not like prideful, like, oh, look at me, but just open that up and just say, I did each one of those jars.
Yeah.
It was my love, my effort, my hard work in each one of those jars. So to me, when I open up that Made with Love cabinet, you know, it's just amazing to me. But I don't have a full-size basement. I just have a crawl space. I'm not putting food down there because I'm not going down there.
Well, even Taffy, you know, even with you only doing salsa, every time one of your grandkids dip a chip in there, that's got to make you feel good.
Yeah.
You don't can tomatoes, Taffy?
No, I haven't.
You know, Suzanne's right. Suzanne's right. Did you girls see where she said you're at someone else's mercy with the food? I mean, look at all the stuff that's been recalled this year. Like even fresh frozen fruit from Walmart was recalled this year. I mean, seriously? Like you have to wonder, is any of your foods, you know, safe anymore, you know? So I say, even if you don't know how to can, you know, freeze, like that soup I made the other day with the cheese in it, I would not have canned that. I haven't gotten that, that rebel, but I would have froze that, you know what I mean? Or Vanessa could have, freeze dried it, but you know, the canned cheese, I'll can all day. That stuff is easy, but you know, maybe it's something that, I don't know, maybe there's a few things that you can water bath and maybe teach your grandkids how to do too.
Mm-hmm. Nessa, when you freeze dry the soup, how do you reconstitute it?
Well,
what do you do afterwards?
If you guys have watched my videos where I'm doing like the hamburger stuff for dinner and I just like throw water in there, you don't do that with soup. Don't do that with eggs or tomato sauce or anything. But what you just do is it's almost like a 1-to-1 ratio. And you just kind of like, I mean, you have to play around with it to your consistency because like the tomato sauce, for example, to me, it gets too thick if you just do the 1-to-1. I mean, that's tomato paste to me. But you find the ratio that you like and you just add a little bit by little bit, not too much at a time because, you know, it's just kind of like how instant potatoes, how you throw the stuff in the boiling hot water, all of a sudden you have potatoes like 2 seconds later. So you don't want to put too much in there, but it does come back a lot faster than dehydrated foods does. I mean, dehydrated foods I like to use in my pressure cooker when I'm pressure cooking like stews or whatever in my pressure cooker, because by the time, you know, you're done cooking on all that, then it comes back really well. But as far as if you want something quick and now, I mean, I have some soups, and maybe that's what I should do is make a little video on showing how some of the soups that I do have, how it's easily to reconstitute. I mean, I know I've really been slacking on the whole freeze dryer thing. Yeah. I really should be doing it, but that freeze dryer puts off a lot of heat. And if I don't have to run the AC, I don't like to. But it makes it nice to be able to have all the freeze dried stuff. And pretty soon, you know, because I have all those peppers and they're starting to grow, I'll be freeze drying a whole bunch of those peppers and stuff too. But I mean, it doesn't take hardly any water to bring back whatever it is that you're cooking. But like I said, when I do like the meat and I just throw water in it, I just dump out the extra water.
Yeah. Because
that's just easier for me.
Well, Julie said that she's trying to learn how to grow her own food and preserve it. And Dono talks about you can't be dependent on commercial feed, which I completely agree. Because some of that stuff I think was tainted. But Julie,
it was here in the U.S. at least.
Julie, when the pandemic first started, we live in Michigan, Ness and I do, and our governor's less to be the desired. But anyway, she told us we couldn't buy this and that and whatever. And so you couldn't buy gardening things. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do that, whatever. So I'm very defiant. And so I had Tom build me. I took up my whole front yard as a mess. My whole front yard is a bed. And I made 2 raised beds, and then we put another one along the side, and we started out with just tomatoes. Last year and the year before, we wanted to expand, but we didn't really have the money to get any more beds or make them. So we went and got laundry baskets, and we put plastic bags inside and poked holes in it. Actually, we dug up all of our potatoes and we put them in that great big bed, and they did better last year in the laundry baskets. So no matter what you do, you can start your growing, even if it's just something in your windowsill. You know what I mean? You can start something, and your preservation for that doesn't have to be canning. It can be, so many vegetables you can, what do they call it? Parboil, is that what they call that? And then put it into freezer bags. Yeah. One of the best investments, I have to agree with my sister, is what's that air sucky out thing?
Food saver.
Food saver. One of the best things that she actually told me to do. I want to get chickens, but Tom told me no, Lorraine. And being in the city and close to the river, I have all those characters that you guys would have out in the country. I have raccoons. I almost hit one the other day too, by the way. And AJ goes, "Don't get that, Grandma." And I said, "I know." And then I almost hit a rabbit too. But we have raccoons. We have groundhogs, or what do they call those, Nuss? Are they groundhogs? No, the big ones. But we have what I used to call your ex-husband. What's that?
Possum.
Skunks. We have all those things. That's why I don't grow food in the backyard, because they just eat it all. And
you'd have to fence it in stuff.
Huh?
You'd have to fence it in, because like where I have my peppers, Mark put the fence around there and it kept the critters out of it. Well,
I'll tell you what. You get a GoFundMe for $8,000. I'll do that.
Oh, Chris, I meant the 2-foot fence, the rabbit fence.
Oh yeah, well, you'd need more than that. And they dig underground here. I mean, they dug big holes underneath of my shed. So
yeah.
Allie said she would subscribe.
I don't think it's prairie dogs, Sally. Moles, Chris?
No. Ground chucks, or what's those things called? They're mean. Woodchucks.
Well, we probably have all that stuff out here, because we've got 19 acres next to us. And then, you guys have seen all the deer and how much damage they've done to my fruit trees.
Julie, you know what? Even if you got to just do in the windowsill, I know in my old apartment, they each had just that little skinny windowsill. You can plant something in there, buy those long planters at the dollar store. And if you have to do nothing else, plant herbs. Because Vanessa and I talked about this yesterday. I do my own onion powder, and I'll be doing my own other peppers and stuff too. But my onion powder tastes way better than the store does. But the only problem is it clumps up, and so you have to every once in a while stir it up. You know what I mean? Break it up. The stores doesn't do that. Yeah. Because they add crap to it.
Yeah, they add additives.
Yep. So, you guys, I mean, even like I have a whole bunch of herbs out in my garden right now. I don't know what they are because everything washed off. So I'm going to take this book out there and go, okay, that one's this one. But when I've seen articles and stuff on the stuff that they put into our spices, and what was that one that was the worst, Vanessa? Like you couldn't buy it pure from anywhere.
I know garlic is bad. You try to get it from California.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know for sure if anybody can see. Let me see if I can. This is on time delay, so bear with me. I don't know for sure. if you guys can see that. Over in the corner. Over in the corner, VMU gave me a that holds, geez, oh Pete, 72. Trying to get that over there. Oh, hold on, my husband's saying something. But I don't know if you can see that in the corner, but that holds 72 different spots, and that's probably about 3 foot long. So anybody who watches me knows I eat a salad pretty much almost every single day, and they're saying that they are putting a whole bunch of bad things even in our fruits and vegetables. You know, they've been talking about they've been doing stuff with the meat and make that meat that fake meat that's grown in a lab, but they're doing stuff even with the lettuces. Yep. So I told my husband, I said, if this works, you know, because I have to still do the seeds and stuff. Yesterday kind of got away from me, so I didn't get a chance to do that. But even doing the you know, if I had to buy another one of those to do like my salad mixings, I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure I can do like, you know, like some basil or, you know, some of the herbs or something like that in there. But just having that, because they even have some that's about that size, it's got 108 holes in it. So if that does work, I can stop relying on all the lettuce from the store.
Yeah.
And, I have some you can cut right now if you wanted to, but let me answer a question of Linda's. Linda lives in an apartment. She says she does have a patio.
Oh, nice.
But, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen the ads on TV, Linda. You know how they had where you can plant your strawberries upside down? Do you know you can grow even your squashes, your cucumbers, your tomatoes, everything else? You can actually make a panel and they can grow up. So like if you have walls of that patio or whatever, you can make them grow up that, and you can grow things growing upside down. They will come through. Now, I don't think I would do something heavy like gourds or something like that to do it, but to do tomatoes, I'm more than positive you could do those bags and grow them hanging up. So just kind of look into those things, because I think if you even have that little bit of patio space, even if you can only do things that are hanging up, utilize that and use every bit of space that you can possibly use.
But before you go and spend money, make sure it's okay with your apartment complex.
Right, right.
Because I'd hate to see you spend all sorts of money and it's like, well, no, you can't have that out there, because some of those apartments are kind of crazy. But one thing about apartments, I don't know for sure if you guys have all seen those, but those really big towers.
Yeah.
And they got like 50 little packs in the towers.
Yeah.
When I planted my 60-something strawberries this year, only about 2 or 3 of my strawberries took. So I told my husband, I said, you know, next year, I said, we could still leave, you know, the ground the way it is and everything like that. I said, but what we can do is buy a couple of those towers over the winter, you know, buy the dirt, buy everything that's getting ready to do, or save the money back for the dirt, and put those out there for the
Yes, Lorraine.
Yes, definitely.
Well, do you guys know in not Puerto Rico, but where Castro was, what's his name? Oh, that country.
Cuba.
Do you know in Cuba they really limit on how much people can produce for themselves, because it's, you know, a nation that's controlled completely. But people that are in apartments there and whatever, those are buildings I honestly would never live in. I mean, there's holes in them and everything else. I feel bad how those people eat. They live, but you know, they actually do, and that maybe that's something that apartment dwellers could start asking about. They will literally take the whole entire roof of their apartments.
Yeah.
And they will make it into basically a field on top of their apartments. Now, I don't suggest you do that, but you know, you might be able to get permission from, you know, your landlords to at least put, you know, big planters up there or something like that. I see a lot of different countries that do that. But you know what's really funny about Cuba is that they're now going to do those, where you can take cruises there. But it says right on there, don't guarantee what you'll be able to eat. Because if the government says you're only getting tomatoes and bread today, that's all that the restaurant will have. So they say to eat before you come off the boat. Yeah, I got to figure out what my stuff is. I need to get that book out there and find out what mine is. Linda's like, she has basil. I know I have basil and lemon balm and all kinds of other stuff, but which is which I don't know, and they're all getting big, and I need to dehydrate them. That's something else I'm glad you told me to get, Vanessa, is a dehydrator.
She went kicking and screaming.
I did.
I don't need one of those.
I'm glad that I got it, you know, and I don't know that I'd use the freeze dryer as much, but yeah.
You would once you got one and you realize.
I agree, Bruno.
You would realize that it's you like the texture of the stuff. Because I mean, some people just have texture issues. Like my daughter, she's not autistic or anything like that, but she's like, she doesn't like mushrooms because they're slimy. It's like mushrooms take on the taste of whatever you have, but a lot of people just don't like mushrooms, and I get that.
I love mushrooms.
Me too.
Julie and Sally and Bruno, you guys are right. I mean, you start out really small and it goes up from there. You should see Jack's yard. I mean, you guys see the updates, but you don't understand. Jack's whole side of the yard basically has a garden now. He said we could use the other part too, because you know he doesn't want to mow. So yeah. I don't know if I'm quite ready for all that though.
I'm really surprised where you are and how the neighborhood has changed, obviously, since I lived there. But when I was living there, in the riffraff that was living around me next door and across the street, I couldn't have had something like that. Well, I had that big tree. I couldn't have. There wasn't enough sunshine in my yard to have a garden anyways, but the riffraff would have tore everything apart. You don't have that riffraff living there now.
Oh, we still got the guy at the end of the street, but you know, he's trying to get better.
Yeah.
They're talking about tearing down those last 2 houses.
They should. Well, there's 3 houses actually down there, but yeah.
No, there isn't.
Oh, they took that one down?
What's his name's house has been gone for years and years and years.
Alls.
So the people that are here, did you guys enjoy watching the 3 of us together? If you guys can comment.
Is there anything that you, if we did this again, is there anything that you would like us to show or see? I mean, I don't know for sure if we set our cameras up in the kitchen. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to respond back, only verbally.
Yeah.
You know, would you guys want to see anything in particular if we did this again, like canning or?
Well, Bruno's got a good question.
Yeah.
A legit question. How do you store your butter for long term? You can freeze it, Bruno, but also you can can it. I thought Vanessa was crazy when she talked to me about canning, and I looked it up all over the place, but I probably have, I don't know, 15 jars downstairs. You just melt it down, and then I think it's 10 minutes, is it? I'd have to look it up, Bruno. But the whole time that after you pull it out of your canner, you have to shake it. And the more that you shake it, you know, during that time that it cools off, the prettier it looks in the jar. But you can can it. It can last up to 5 years in those jars. Because
if you have salted and not salted mixed together. I used all salted and it was kind of grainy.
I use all salted too. But I cook with it, you know, so you really don't notice that.
Well, cooking with it, you're not going to notice, but it would if you put it on your toast. Well, that's very nice. You're going to get some video watching on your videos, Taffy.
Oh,
thanks, Alfred. We don't mean to keep it short today. It's my fault for doing that, but I got a lot of canning to do. I've got everything cut up. You guys will see the videos later, but I got a lot of cucumbers out there waiting for me. And they've been soaking for almost 4 hours now, but that should be okay. But I enjoyed doing this with you girls. It was fun. Maybe we should do it again soon.
I did
and
too.
We kind of overtalked you a little bit, didn't we? We're sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
You should hear us
talking
when we get on
about-
the phone.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we'll get prettied up.
Yes.
That's
Or
not
maybe next time I won't. How about that?
There you go. You do look beautiful. Does everybody think that Taffy looks absolutely beautiful?
That don't
And
make me
for
blush.
those of you that are with me and Vanessa, Taffy will make you gain weight
yes.
just by watching her videos. I swear to gosh, I gain 10 pounds every time I watch a video, and I don't even have to make it.
I made
She's
that
got.
ice cream cake yesterday. That was easy.
Oh,
I know. I
And
put on there. I gained 10 pounds watching it.
I made 2 of them. I made one for our house, and then I sent home one with the little boys.
Yeah,
Oh.
she makes me gain weight. So I'm gonna say goodbye. If you girls want to continue to go on, that's fine. But I've really got to get to Cannon here.
well, that's up to you, Taffy, if you want Stay
Well, we
on.
can just call it a day and try to do it another day if you want to.
Absolutely. Thanks for you guys that showed up. Maybe next
Yeah.
time we'll figure out how to do it from mine, and then
Yeah.
maybe from Vanessa's too, and then that way you guys can. It's more easier to get in sometimes.
Yeah.
So thank you, girls.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks for all of you that came and watched us today. We appreciate it. And I love you guys.
Bye-bye. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Bye.